Whakawa.
Marama Fox.
Tēnā koe te mana whakawa.
Tēnā koe.
I stand to support this piece of legislation, this bill, I should say, as it comes before the House, because the bill gives effect to a deed of settlement in which the Crown, Ngāti Kuri, Te Aupōuri, Ngai Takoto and Te Rarawa agreed to what we've often called in the past as full and final settlement, but what I'd like to think of as cementing an ongoing partnership for long-term engagement between iwi and the Crown. And in doing so, once again, treaty settlements are leading the legislative way in terms of breathing life into this omnibus bill format. It used to be that the omnibus bill was reserved for a specific set of circumstances, that they'd be used as finance bills or confirmation bills or to validate authorised action and regulation. They might be used in form for Māori purpose bill, one or more acts relating to Māori affairs. Or they could be applied to statute amendments, reserves and other land disposal bills. But the treaty settlement legislation has given a whole new meaning to the omnibus. And as we've heard, it has taken some 30 years to bring these four groups together, and some who have not taken the opportunity to get involved. The provision has, as noted by the Minister, been left there for them to do so when they're ready. The bill is expected to be divided into 5 parts at the Committee of the Whole House. So beyond those technicalities, these 4 iwi have come together, and that must be appreciated. E te mana whakawa, you've often heard, or you may have heard me speak about my relationship to Papa Waimarai. At Papa Waimarai, my ancestor, the kuia Niniwa o Te Rangi, was able to stand on marae around the country to progress something called kōtahitanga, or the coming together of peoples to speak up for the causes of Māori. Also, in my maiden address, I spoke about the Confederation of Ngāpuhi Chiefs. 180 years ago, those rangatira congregated at Te Hiku, or Te Ika, to literally fly their own flag and to declare independence and to celebrate this land as an independent nation in its own right, a nation rich in our own customs, language, culture, and systems of social and economic support. That is rangatiratanga. And I referred to the late Eri Mahinare in my maiden speech. When he spoke of that declaration, he said the words of the declaration come right from the heart of Māori, from the eyes, from the mind, the face of Māori. And I chose to repeat those words today with respect to my colleague, to highlight that his words may in fact have been prophetic in the coming together of these groups into Hiku at this time. If ever we are able to advance in this land, the spirit of partnership must be realised, not just in terms of this legislation, but for cultural integrity, for moral and political, spiritual, social and economic independence as treaty partners. I want to refer to one particular aspect of this bill as highlighting the unique demonstration of kōtahitanga between Ngāti Kuri, Te Aupōuri, Ngai Takoto and Te Rarawa. And that is the commitment under the korowai to the respective partners establishing, maintaining and strengthening their positive, cooperative and enduring relationships guided by some principles. And so I want to refer to those principles here, Mr. Speaker. First and most fundamental is the intent to give effect to the principles of te tiriti or waitangi. The second principle is to respect the autonomy of each party and its individual mandate, role and responsibility. I think this is really important acknowledgement that unity can be achieved through diversity. That means standing side by side and not one on top of the other. The third commitment is that the 4 Far North iwi and the Crown will actively work together using shared knowledge and expertise. This active working relationship will be facilitated through the 4th principle to cooperate in partnership in a spirit of good faith, integrity, honesty, transparency and accountability. The 5th principle is a timely reminder to us all. that respectful relationships don't allow space for conflict to grow. That principle is to engage early on issues of known interest to any other parties. And the sixth principle consolidates the importance of cultural capital, enabling and supporting the use of te reo Māori and tikanga Māori. So these set of principles concludes with an acknowledgement that the parties' relationship is evolving and provides room for those who are yet to come on board. I want to acknowledge this. Te Hiku o Te Ika has in fact gifted a set of unique principles to the legislature and indeed to the nation. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to mention the importance of customary materials plan and wāhi tapu framework that's been set out in Part 4 and Part 5 of Schedule 20. It is beholden on all New Zealanders to appreciate the significance of the protection laid out in this bill for the spiritual, cultural integrity of Te Rerenga Wairua as a reserve. This bill recognises the significance of Te Rerenga Wairua, meaning the leaping place of the spirits. If you want to give it a translation, I'd rather not. It was from here that the spirits of the dead are believed to depart. And as we tread carefully, we must always acknowledge the mana whenua in guiding us on how we are to act in these times, and the coming together and unity that has been displayed by these groups, these iwi, this mana whenua who have come together in supporting this piece of legislation. It is indeed an example for the rest of this nation to follow, that we can do things together, side by side, not one on top of the other, respecting each other's diversity and mana at the same time. That's my contribution to today's debate. E te mana whakawā. Everybody has highlighted the importance of this, and I want to stand and support it. Nō reira, tēnā tātou katoa.
Adrian Ruafi.
Tēnā koe te māngai o te are. O te